Welcome to the Flying Pigskin Show. 3-0 Flying Pigskin Show. With Keenan Singleton, I'm Ken Broo. It's the definitive show on the Cincinnati Bengals and only on WCPO.com. 3-0, Keenan. Can't argue with it. 3-0. Played very, very well last night in Baltimore.
The most impressive thing I saw was obviously the game was great. Them guys coming back in and able to win the game. But on the plane ride back, it's a pretty quiet atmosphere. It wasn't a lot of hooting and a lot of hollering, not a lot of celebrating. So to me, that says that this is a team that expected to be here. Mm-hmm. They're professionals, and they're ready to go.
3-0, you still got 13 to go. So it's a long way.
Not only those 13, but they want to go to the playoffs. They want to play more than 16 games this year. It's, 19 games to the Super Bowl. We already kind of calculated. So really a long season if the Bengals are going where they really want to go this year.
If you're going mobile and watching us on the WCPO app, thank you very much. If you don't have the app, download it. You can find it in a lot of places, including the iTunes Store. And, of course, these shows are available 24/7 on demand at WCPO.com. Big show today, a lot of guests to get to. Let's get to our first guest, Rodney Heath, former Bengal cornerback, and a man that should be very pleased that his Minnesota Gophers found a way, cheating, to beat my Ohio Bobcats on Saturday. Rodney, welcome in.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
I was only kidding about the cheating part.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I know how you are, Ken, so I can deal with that.
All right, so you watched this game on Sunday. What are your impressions? What did you take away from it?
I like the way. The one thing that I can say is that it's not the same old team where when you get hit with adversity and how do you bounce back? That was the one thing where they had the game in hand pretty much the whole first half. I mean, even with the call in the at the 4th and 1, I mean, I still think it was a good call. It was a gutsy call.
Yeah.
But, all in the end, if he would just fall over into the end zone instead of reaching it out, he would have scored. Nobody would be talking about this. So we wouldn't have no issues. It'd be 21-0 before they go in the half.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think they fired back. They showed how much they had, especially on the offensive side with, the targets. I think I told Keenan this a while ago when we made the predictions. Hey, man, they got 3 wide receivers and a tight end out there who can get it done. I mean, by far. And when Andy's on, he's on. So I don't think they can really be stopped when it's like that.
Their weapons are incredible. You're right. Those 3 wide receivers, we're finally starting to see Marvin Jones return to form after that injury-plagued season from a year ago. I don't know if you can really stop these guys on the outside, and then you still got to deal with Eifert. And the running game, unfortunately, is a little shaky. But these wide receivers are really making hay.
If you had to defend A.J. Green, what would you do, Rodney?
Well, I mean, I think his long game, he runs a very good press out. But really for me, I mean, you got to pick and choose. If I make Marvin beat me and I put my best guy on him and I double with my lesser corner and have a safety over top, I think I can live with that and make Marvin beat me. I mean, Sanu is good in the middle. And, if he beats you, then the team really, your defense is really bad. So, I mean, that's how I would defend A.J.
If you were in your prime, could you guard A.J. Green?
Of course I'm going to say yes.
Of course he would. What else would he say, kid?
I don't know, but you got to ask, right? You got to ask.
Any corner in their right mind should say that.
Okay. Assess Andy Dalton for us, Rodney. What were your thoughts on the way Dalton played yesterday?
I think for the most part, I mean, he had some miscues that were bad. I mean, of course, the fumble, the INT, and, having the sacks. For the most part, how he responded and his attitude. I mean, you saw something when he threw that touchdown what was it? It was 6:49 left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
He threw that 80-yard bomb to AJ. It was like he's going after it. He had the confidence to throw it. So the one thing, he might even be getting tired of the naysayers. You just never know. Sometimes that just gets on your nerves. I mean, being booed and all that stuff. I mean, there's one thing about him, I don't know him personally like that, but I know he's a fighter. He's that type of guy. So I would think, I think he did pretty good. It's just some miscues that he could have, took care of.
Well, I'll tell you this. If there are doubters in this market anymore about Andy Dalton, they should be silenced. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be a great quarterback. But on this team, I don't think he has to be a great quarterback.
No, I mean, on this team, you just need to manage it. It's not like what Peyton would have to deal with or anything of that nature. You're talking about, like we were saying before, when you got a tight end in the game, we already know what Brady's doing over there in New England. Now, if the running game was doing well, then that'd be one thing. Right now we got Bernard who's in here, and he's trying to carry the load until Hill gets back to form. And, Keenan might have jinxed him. I don't know. Last time I talked to you, we talked about him. He was going to do his thing. But, in the end, I mean, once you get that going again, that's just going to make them better. And I think his decision-making, he was precise on some throws he made yesterday that was very, very good that I saw in him that was impressive.
I think he's finally starting to shed that game manager label. I know you just used it right there, Rodney, but seeing these balls going downfield last week against the Chargers to Marvin Jones, and then again this week to A.J. Green, you're starting to see some of those 50-yard bombs. I don't want to tease things here, but the 50-yard bombs that he's able to throw now.
Yeah. Do you see this team beating Kansas City on Sunday, Rodney? You're hesitating. You're hesitating.
Well, no. If they get, it just depends. I mean, it's just not the offense either. I mean, the defense was running what they can. It looked like they was running a little bit more of a trap 2 type of defense, which was basically make the offense drive. And they knew with Baltimore that, they are not really accustomed to taking big shots. They only had Steve Smith, who had a heck of a game also. And now when you go into this Kansas City game, the offense, this offense we have with the deep threats, if they're throwing the ball deep, that's going to open up the running game a little bit more. So I think they got a chance. You at home. I mean, of course, I'll be there.
All right, man. Rodney, it's great talking to you. Rodney Heath, former Bengal. Thank you, Rodney.
Hey, no problem, fellas. Have a good one.
Later, Rod.
All right.
I like Rodney.
Oh, we all do.
Now joining us is Mike McCoy. And we introduce Mike the real McCoy. I'm sorry, yes, we wouldn't want you to be stopped on the street.
It's almost like the pot calling the skillet the spoon. Get it right.
And as we introduce Mike McCoy each week, the real McCoy, we say, Andy Dalton.
He didn't suck yesterday.
Whoa! Stop the show.
Be still, my
I don't
furniture
think this is
heart.
real. This is the fake McCoy. This is not the real McCoy.
No, I got to take my hat off.
Take
I don't
it off.
have one on, but
Well, take what you got off.
like, you really want me to take it off? Let it all hang out?
Whatever you want to do.
No, you don't want to do that and run them all away.
I wasn't sure.
Keenan mentioned something last weekend about airing it out, and it's not necessary for him to air it out. Now, Andy Dalton yesterday, he played the way that he should have played. 32 tries, 383, 3 TDs. He was airing it out. Green had a good day. The running game wasn't on. It was some boneheaded calls made, some timeouts that shouldn't have been taken. But Andy should be able to play that way every Sunday. There's no excuse for it.
Wow.
And he showed it yesterday.
A reasoned response from Mike McCoy.
Well, no, I'm just trying to say I call it the way it is.
I know
you know, you guys, you want to sugarcoat it.
I don't
It's the
sugarcoat
third game. The wheels is going to come off of that cart pretty soon. What, in 2 years in a row, they was 3-0?
But this is a different 3-0.
No,
This is a different 3-0.
What's
Last
the
year,
difference? I thought 3-0 was 3-0.
in context, again, Mike.
Well,
just
here
like
we
I tried
go
to,
with this
last year,
context and paper and all this and that.
Hear me
All
out.
right.
Hear me out. This year, 2 tough road games.
Okay.
They've won both of those games. Oakland, you can maybe say not that tough of a road game, but it's still on the West Coast. Last year was the Titans and the Falcons last year, who were terrible last year. So 3-0 is different this year compared to 3-0 last year.
Okay. He had a feast yesterday on Baltimore's defense. Baltimore defense is not the defense of the past of the Ravens, and you know that.
They took away the run game, though, so it forced them to pass.
Yeah, true that, but you never, ever single cover A.J. Green. I mean, he was wide open on several plays.
Well, the winning touchdown, 22, I forget the kid's name, but 22. Who?
Jimmy Smith.
Wait, well, let's introduce our back bench while we're at it right now, because
What's up back there, guys?
we have a rookie behind the controls. We have a substitute teacher this week. Mike Strotman is running the show. Matt Lukin apparently was he suspended? Is that what happened?
We don't know. Possibly.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Libby's
Performance
here.
enhanced. Yeah.
Brian's here. Good to have you guys with us.
Thank you.
Mike Cannon's over there. He's the stat man. He's like the sergeant at arms back there.
Right.
Good to
There
see
he
you, Mike.
is.
There's Mike. Okay.
But no, Jimmy Smith, you were saying.
Yeah, 22 on that last touchdown pass. It looked like he began his coverage in Washington, D.C. Because that dude was chasing. I mean, you can't run and catch up to A.J. Green in the back of the end zone.
Exactly. And all other teams, what? Double coverage run. Am I correct? You don't let a guy like A.J. Green run like that.
But we just talked about the weapons with Rodney. I don't know if there's anybody on this team that you really can allow yourself to double cover. If they're 3 wide, you got Eifert on the line. You got a running back. I don't know who you can double cover. You can't double cover.
You never let A.J. Green have single coverage. I don't care. You definitely have 2 people on him at all times. That's just the bottom line. He's too good of a receiver in the league to let him be on the single coverage.
Marvin Jones had a 100-yard game too, I think.
Yeah, 98. I think he went over 98.
He was close, 94 yards.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it. I mean, there's just so many different ways to go on this. Green, though, I'll tell you what, is the best player on this team. If you didn't know it before last night, you know it
Confirmed.
now. The best player on this team, and the money they invested in him in that contract 3 weeks ago is the best investment this franchise has made in a player in its history. In its history, ever.
Well, I kind of agree to that, but some of those passes, like I could have threw a pass to
Wait,
Green
speaking
yesterday.
of that,
Well, yeah.
speaking
passes.
of that, you said, what did Mike say last week?
Can we cue that up?
I said he could not throw the ball 50 yards.
Okay, we said, and then do we have visual proof that he can or cannot do it?
I hear that we may, yeah.
We may have
so
it.
Yeah,
roll
I
the
think we do.
videotape.
Should we see this?
Let's see the
I don't know if I
videotape.
want to watch this.
Is there sound on this? Good.
Go ahead and roll this. Roll it. Look at that. Oh, here we go. Oh, my God.
I'm just trying to check out the motion I'm going to throw, how many steps I'm going to take, then I just
I
let
say
it
15
go.
yards. That's already.
Wow.
That's got the trajectory of like 15 yards on
This
it.
is like NFL films.
No way.
That's like Jeff Blake throwing the ball.
Look at that. Look at that.
Long box
Wow.
across
Right
Pickens.
there.
We gotta see where this thing lands.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, nice.
Bam!
This is not.
50
Nice.
yarder. 50 yarder. Huh? But I must admit, no, I didn't throw it 50 yards. I threw my arm out. Now, I'm just going to be honest.
How far did that go?
We got a cut of how far I really threw the ball.
You do?
Yes, we do. Honestly, we do. We have another cut. Roll a second cut. Roll a videotape.
22 yards max.
No. How much you want to bet? It's more than 22 yards. This
Well,
is
you
a-
were there. I don't know.
This was an actual throw right there.
Looks like
it
a
was
passing kick.
It was 30 yards.
30 yards.
30 yards.
That's what I thought.
It was 30.
You threw a ball 30
30
yards?
yards.
Not bad.
Was it accurate though?
Yes. Yes.
It was not a regulation
Yeah.
football.
No, it was this ball right here.
You threw a Nerf ball 30 yards?
Is it
Those are ducks, man.
I don't know. This feels deflated.
Well, I
don't know
had to
if
be
that's
able
a
to
proper
grip it, you
PSI
know
or
what I'm
not.
saying?
Well, wait a minute.
I don't
I
know
had
if
to
it's
be
a
able to
proper
grip it.
PSI. I don't know.
We are talking about a 68-year-old man. So it's like,
Hey.
that's not
He's
bad.
in shape, though.
No,
I mean,
that's not bad. That's
Most
not
guys
bad.
25-year-old
68,
mouth.
they're in a walker. You
Correct.
were out there throwing it. I saw
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Why were you standing in the end zone, by the way?
Well, I wanted to make sure I was deep in end zone so I could make sure I actually threw it 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards because Stratman said it wouldn't have counted if I came across the line. So I just stood in the end zone and chugged it away.
pretty
But
impressive.
I'm on the injured list. Now, I will never,
You're on the
ever,
injured list?
You threw it
I will
out?
never, ever do
Workman's
that
comp?
again.
Is that what you had?
Something like that. I'm not going to joke, but my shoulder's in pain. But,
sorry to hear that.
I did it for the show, and it was fun, but I'll never do it again. So no more throwing footballs.
Well, I think it's because you were carrying that bolt around all week.
Yeah.
That heavy weight, warming up your arm.
True.
That's why you're
I had a 20-pound weight I was carrying around all week long. And
Why?
to see if I could
strengthening
really.
his arms.
There you go. I was
Getting it
really
down
trying to
to
do
the
this.
He probably would have thrown it 40 yards if you didn't do that.
Yeah, he wasn't
Probably.
loose.
Probably injured muscle tissue or something doing that.
Well,
It was impressive, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
thought it was very good, but you don't carry the bolt around, maybe it goes farther. I think that's a myth.
Well, it is what it is. Now, can we get back to real football? My prediction.
Oh, you're leaving?
Woo! Touche! Way to go, redhead.
No, go ahead. That's my.
On Sunday coming up, now we will really see the real Bengal team. The reason I say that, you got a coach out there, Andy Reid, that is basically
why
sound.
was the Ravens not the real Bengals
Ravens
team? On the road, desperate team, 0-2.
Here we go again.
AFC North
okay,
rival?
Kansas City is coming in here, right?
Chargers.
What has Kansas City done?
They are a better coach team. They are healthier
So that's
than
a
the
Philadelphia
Ravens.
Eagles fans.
Wait a minute, they're healthier than the Ravens.
Well, they play tonight.
And
they haven't won a Super Bowl since I started watching football.
Okay, but they're.
I hear
and
some
the
breaking
Ravens have.
news. Neither had the Bengals.
That's true.
But I believe that they're a better coach team. I couldn't give a dime in a handbasket for Marvin Lewis. I just don't. Marvin has took this team as far as he's going to take them. I'm telling you, he will never ever see the
Which
light
is
of day
about
of a
farther
Super
than
Bowl.
anybody else, right?
Well, that's because he's been in for umpteen years.
Well, that
It's time
means
for
that
him
he's
to
been
ride
doing
off
a
into
good
the
job. If
sunset.
he's only there for 3 years, that means
Here's
he's
what
doing
Kansas
a
City's
crap job.
got. Their quarterback is okay.
He's a
not
guy.
great. He's better. Dalton's better than he is. They can run the ball. Jamal Charles is the real deal.
Real
I'll give you
deal.
that. And this team has had trouble stopping the run. We know that. So I think you got that going for you, but there ain't much going for you after that.
I mean, the Chiefs are 1-1, and their one win was against Houston.
Right.
I mean, that's a horrible team.
Right. They're going to get drilled tonight.
Yeah.
I want to see if Andy, I'm going to throw a little stat at you here, Mike.
Okay.
Right now, Andy Dalton has 5 straight multi-touchdown games, which leads the NFL. So I want to see if he can extend that streak to 6, because that's a pretty impressive streak thus far for a guy that you say is
sucks. But I didn't say he sucks Sunday. He got over the hump Sunday, so I'm giving credit where it's due. But I don't believe Andy Dalton can keep up what he's doing.
Do you believe in this team? I believe in this team. I believe in this team. I think this team is going to have a magical year. They won't win 11. They may win 13. And okay, I win my
a
bet.
magical year to me if they win a playoff game. There's where my money is riding. I got to.
What 3-0 team right now is better than Cincinnati? New England?
New England.
Okay, maybe.
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, I'll give you that.
And that's, I would say,
and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
The Bengals are plus 24-point differential, which is 4th in the league, and those
Packers win tonight. They're not better.
Bring all those stats back next week with you.
I got you.
Thank you for stopping by, the real McCoy.
All right,
who
bro.
can throw a ball 30
yards.
30 yards.
And 3 feet,
good,
apparently.
Mike.
This was good.
Go deep.
So, wow.
Look at that. See that?
That was nice.
Like that. All right,
So,
we're going back to Skype, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go out to Baltimore.
We're going to. They don't say Baltimore out there. They say Baltimore. Baltimore. And the waitresses at the restaurant call you Hun. I like that. How you doing, Hun?
The cheerleaders in Baltimore, though.
Well, we'll get into that. Well, we want to welcome in from WMAR Baltimore, which is the ABC affiliate, I believe. At least it was when I was out there. Charley Rowson, who's their news anchor in there. Hello, Charley. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. How are you?
You're still the ABC affiliate there, right?
Yeah, we seem to bounce around a lot, though, if history serves me correctly. I've only been here about 5 years. We're still ABC.
Gotcha. And are you in your backyard?
I'm out on the deck. You know, after the butt whipping you gave yesterday, you got to kind of enjoy the things that are in front of you. So it's a pretty day out here. I'm hanging out back.
You got a little cocktail?
Not yet. I've got a 3-year-old running around inside. So when Mom gets home, then the cocktails flow.
Are they saying in Baltimore now, Charley, that the Ravens are dead? That they've got no hope for this season at 0-3? What's the reaction out there?
You've got 2 types of Baltimore fans right now, and this is just being completely honest. You have 2 types of Baltimore fans. You've got the dyed-in-the-wool, die-hard, Ravens no matter what, bleed purple and black, and they're with them till the end. But the pragmatists of the Baltimore fans say, look, when your biggest offensive weapon is a 36-year-old, 5'9" wide receiver who says this is his last year in the league, is your main offensive weapon. Your running game is anemic at best. What did we have? 25 yards rushing between Allen and Forsett yesterday.
But Steve Smith is really, I mean, he's had, 2 big games out of the 3 so far. I mean, he really is a terrific player.
He has, and that's something you have to look at and say, okay, that's Steve Smith. Where's Kamari Aiken? Where's Crockett Gilmore? Where are these other pieces? The question marks coming into the season was in the wide receiving core and also in the defensive backfield, which A.J. Green probably did more than expose yesterday.
Yeah, you've got, but the Ravens, at least in the last 4 or 5 years, they have had secondary issues. And I don't know if you heard the early part of the show here, but to leave A.J. Green single coverage, there's not a cornerback in this league that can cover that guy in single coverage. Understanding that there are other players on the field, I think if you're a defensive coordinator, if you're the first guy you got to account for is A.J. Green, and they did not on Sunday.
Exactly. You make those other receivers you were talking about, Marvin Jones, for instance, who had 100 yards for you guys yesterday. Make that guy beat you. Don't let A.J. Green, who's probably one of the 5 best receivers in the game right now, don't let him do it.
Right.
I mean, 220-plus yards. What do you have, 2 scores?
Yes.
2 touchdowns.
So, I mean, don't let the marquee player be the one to beat you.
Well, sometimes I feel like going to a basketball analogy here, when Michael Jordan was with the Bulls, some teams would let Michael, score as many points as he could, and you focus on stopping everyone else. I think that's where the problem was with the Ravens. You couldn't stop Marvin Jones yesterday. They shut down Eifert. They shut down the running game. But if you have another guy that's going for 100 yards, you can't do that. It's got to be one or the other. It's got to be AJ's having a big day or someone else's.
And I agree. I think that's actually a great analogy when you bring up the way teams used to play Jordan. It was in the book Jordan Rules for a long time. There were teams that believed, okay, Jordan's going to get his. Now the other 4 have to beat us. But when your offense is struggling on its own, as Baltimore's offense was yesterday, off the top of my head, Steve Smith roughly 180 yards receiving, 2 scores. But if not for that C.J. Mosley fumble return off Dalton in the 4th, is this really a game?
Yeah, if Eifert doesn't fumble that ball.
Score, we had the defensive score in the fourth quarter off Mosley, where you guys just pounded it offensively. So it changes things from, I guess, the optics of the game without that defensive score. I mean, you guys are about as balanced a team right now in the AFC North as there is probably in all of the AFC. You were talking about Giovanni Bernard.
Right.
Dalton's playing well right now. Jones and Green. I mean, that's a good, balanced offensive attack. And yesterday you were just better.
Charlie, is that an Alabama hat you have on there?
No, it is not an Alabama hat. It is an Arkansas hat.
Arkansas.
Wow.
I saw the A. Oh, is there,
That's the script. You could tell by the script.
Are they over the loss to Toledo in Arkansas? That's the big question.
You know, the thing is, watching Arkansas, I didn't know we were going to go college football, but we can. I actually know more about that than I do the Ravens. Arkansas is probably about as good of a team as you'll see in college football, who can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory as well as anyone.
Yeah.
Toledo was an interesting game, but Texas A&M, the loss Saturday night down in Dallas, was about as frustrating as any Razorback fan has experienced in quite some time.
That loss had to hurt more than the Toledo loss. Obviously, the Toledo loss was unexpected, but that Texas A&M game would have really kind of flipped the season script around, and not to be able to pull that one out. Woo! Pig suey.
It was hard because Arkansas had 11 penalties total. Sounds like yesterday's game when you think about it. But 7 of those penalties for the Razorbacks were either false starts or holding. It was basically penalizing a team for doing nothing to the other team. You just can't control your own game.
Yeah.
And one of the false starts came at the worst possible time when they were in ice mode, and they were basically running out clock. And you turn a 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and 7, and you have to punt.
Charlie, thanks for your time. I know, as you said, you got a 3-year-old you got to take care of. You're probably working tonight. I hope you're working tonight. I want to see everybody in this business work.
I do mornings. I do the morning show out here, but
Gotcha.
we actually have our show similar to yours, The Nest. Our Nest weekly show is with Justin Tucker, the kicker for Baltimore. We film that on Tuesday nights, so that makes for a long day Tuesdays for me. But that's what airs on our website, abc2news.com, on Monday morning.
Check that out, guys.
We will check it out. Charlie, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Charlie Rowson, WMAR-TV in Baltimore. I think it's Channel 2 in Baltimore.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't realize he was the morning guy. He said he was having a cocktail after the kid goes to sleep.
Well, I didn't know. Don't you have a cocktail before you come into work? You come out there, everybody does.
No comment.
So,
it's like Anchorman in the 70s.
Obviously, we beat the Ravens this week. Just checking out what the rest of the North did.
Yeah.
Actually, huge development here with the Steelers and Rams. Steelers win the game, but you know.
You win the game, but you might lose the season.
They might,
Well, they said he's got it's not an ACL, it's an MCL, which is the ligament on the outside of the knee.
Right.
And they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. But I looked at their schedule. They're going to run Michael Vick out there, and Vick has quarterbacked a lot of wins in the NFL. He still has the best running back in the NFL, one of the best, in Le'Veon Bell. He's got the best receiver in the NFL, right?
And he's really good at throwing the deep ball. And that's what they're going to be able to do with Antonio Brown.
And you look at who they play, and I don't have the schedule in front of me, but in those next 6 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if they won 4 of those games.
Yeah, as long as they hold serve, go 500. Yeah. They're still in the playoff mix. Absolutely. I don't know if they're in the AFC North mix anymore. Already with the loss, they're already a game behind the Bengals, but the playoffs are where it's at anyway.
Right. The only problem I see with the Steelers going forward is they play Thursday night. That's going to be a quick turnaround to try and get Vic ready. So I think you'll see probably a more compact game plan. The Browns, I'm shocked that they played the Raiders within 7. I don't know what I'm more shocked with, the Raiders 2-1 or the Browns played them within 7.
Well, they were getting smoked for a while in that game. They had to come back and make it interesting. I think they're kind of like Inception. I'm not sure if they're good or if they're bad. I just know it was entertaining. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Browns this season.
Well, the Browns uniforms, they look like Bambi's feeling better. I mean, they're just terrible.
Looks like an AFL 2 team.
Yeah. The Raiders are better than we thought. Well, the first week 1, we thought the Raiders stunk.
Yeah. Well, as long as the Browns start Josh McCown, every team they play has a shot.
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference you're seeing between the last 2 weeks and week 1 is that they have Derek Carr playing a full game.
Yeah.
And I think that guy, he might be a difference maker. He might be the guy that gets them out of the dark ages.
So here's your Steelers schedule. They
Yes.
have the Ravens this week, and they're at San Diego.
It could be dicey.
Yeah, they've got the Cardinals, who are looking really good. They're 3-0 also. They're at the Chiefs.
They could win that game.
Then they play the Bengals.
Could win that game.
And then they play the Raiders.
They could win that game. I think the Raiders is a possible win. I think the Chargers. I mean, they were dead in the water yesterday. Yeah. Chargers are a possible win. Chargers are finished. I think.
Right.
Yeah,
3 games
they're done. They're done. Anybody's got 3 losses after 3 games.
The Chargers always seem to do that. They'll have a great start. They'll have a great start to the season, and then they'll come back to the pack, or they'll have a terrible start to the season, and they'll go on like a 5-game winning streak. Phillip Rivers is a crazy quarterback.
Yeah, he is, but I still think they're done.
Their offense has been playing really well. So their defense has been really letting them down.
Yeah, so I think they could beat the Chiefs, they could beat the Chargers, they could beat the Raiders. They could win 3 of those games. And then the Bengals game is here, I think, right?
Yes.
See, this is what all of this highlights is if any of these guys go down, if the Bengals, God forbid, lose Andy Dalton, all bets are off with them too.
Yeah, that's with any team in the league.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
Hey, real quick, so we got this thing we're going to do this week called a 2-minute warning, little segment we have here. We're only going to make it 2 minutes, all right? Short and sweet here, but 2-minute warning. Ironically, let's talk about the 2-minute warning of halftime. Marvin doesn't seem to be able to use his timeouts well or ever understand the clock. I don't know your opinion on that.
You mean at halftime?
Right.
I think Marvin figures they're getting the ball back in the 3rd quarter, and he plays it conservative. I think that's the answer to that.
He figures, even though they didn't get that Eifert touchdown, he feels at that point they still had the momentum at that point in the game. No one could have known that the Ravens would have come out in the second half and just really turned their game plan around and scored 24 points after going scoreless. But
I think Marvin's problem is the same problem every NFL coach has. They think they're the smartest guy in the room, and they try to outthink everybody.
Week 1, egotistical. They think they know everything, and he is no exception to that rule.
I don't know. I just feel like Marvin, sometimes he just kind of freaks out when the clock runs out on him, it seems.
Could be.
I don't know.
I think he has a tendency to try to, if we have a 3-point lead, he's trying to slow the game down. We got to hang on to this 3-point lead rather than, playing football and having some offense still and trusting your defense to keep the game competitive. We get a 3-point or a 7-point lead, and he just wants to eat the clock and get the game over with. We got a lead. Let's hang on to it. Get out of here. When you see in this game, we play from behind and we throw a 80-yard bomb to A.J. Green, and get the lead back. We can play we can play from behind. Our offense can do this.
All I know is if you have a chance to take points, and I don't care if you're up or not, you got to get the points. I mean, we saw with 3 points you could have used in this game.
Exactly.
That would make a huge difference.
I know Marvin calls the timeouts, but he doesn't call the offensive plays. So I don't know if that is some of the criticisms that you guys are levying at him. And I don't have a problem criticizing Marvin Lewis at all, but I think some of these criticisms may be more reserved for Hugh Jackson.
Right.
Yeah, let's go after him. Let's get him.
All right.
Get him.
Well, that was great. That was a good time. 2-minute warning's over. I think you guys were successful.
Thank you very much.
All right, so
let's bring in a great guest of this program. He's with us every week, except when he's like hungover. Can't function.
Hey, that happens to the best of us.
Direct from over the Rhine, it's Mr. Satin. Mr. Satin, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great.
Same getup he wore last week, too.
Yeah,
you got to keep rocking
with you.
Well, you know what? We're still working on this. It's still, we got a good smell in the satin.
Fresh.
Right.
That's good.
Satin doesn't smell.
No, I've never found that to be true.
You can put satin sheets on your bed. You don't have to change them for a year.
I don't think so.
I think that's kind of gross.
No, but it's true. Satin does not. You
slide around on it,
Exactly. Everything does.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold that. Absolute sandwiches.
Beverage, everything slides around on satin.
All right,
if you're doing it right, yeah.
Okay.
Bingo.
You're out among the Vox Populi, right?
Yeah, we try to get out there.
You're a man of the people.
Yeah.
What do you figure the mood is in this town right now? I mean, Mr. Satin, what do you figure? What do you figure the mood is after being out among your peeps? You can still say peeps.
Yeah, sure. People, us common folk.
Well, speak for yourself.
I got to tell you something. There's a couple things going on. All right. First, we're 3-0. We're all feeling good. We see the Roethlisberger goes down. Everyone's cheering. You don't want to root for anybody to get injured.
No.
But in this town, they see that there's confetti guns going up in the air.
I hate to say it, but didn't it remind you a little bit about Kimo von Oelhoffen? It was kind of like the same thing going on there, isn't it?
There's some weird things going on this
week.
Very karma. Here's another thing that's weird. Now, I've heard it from a lot of people right now that supposedly you're related to Andy Dalton. Now, and Andy Dalton is getting special treatment in this town because he's related to you. Now, I just want to clear the air here, let people know what's going on with that.
I'll be honest with you, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I've never said this before publicly.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
And I'm going to say it now. And again, I understand fully what's going to happen here after I say this. So I understand this.
Gingers unite.
I don't know Andy Dalton.
You don't know him?
I have never had. We're not related. Although I will say this.
All right. Okay.
Although I will say
Clear
this.
the air.
Wait a minute. I will say this. There are only 3% of the population are gingers.
So you have to be related.
And will be gone in 50 years. They say in 50 years, every redheaded person in this country will be gone.
We have like 75%
So Andy is,
of them on this
Andy
show.
is like
Gone
20.
where?
What is Andy? 27. He's gone. Like 77. He's finished.
I mean,
20 years for me. You know, I'm gone in half that time.
I mean, he's
I may be
probably
gone
making
after the
babies.
show.
He's trying to get the red out there.
He could be, but they're saying maybe it's 500 years. All of the redheads. There's some 5 in there, but no, I don't. But
Or you,
his hair,
you go up high enough, we'll all be gone.
but I'm not
That's
really.
true.
I'm not really that color red. I'm more like strawberry blonde.
Blondish.
Yeah, but
At
I'm
least
just
that's
saying,
what the bottle says.
This was the rumor. This was the rumor. This was the rumor out there. A lot of people asked me about that. They said, "Hey, you're close to Broo. Let's get the record straight." Because they're seeing Andy Dalton get special treatment. They're saying because of you.
He puts too much product in his hair.
He's liking his new haircut. He's saying.
Is that right?
That's on Twitter. He's commenting about his hair, and he's
Well, I'm glad
finally found the look and style.
Unless you're getting paid for it, a grown man shouldn't comment about his own hair on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm glad he's happy with it. It kind of looks kind of like
Keenan,
Howdy
I
Doody.
totally agree.
What's that? Yeah.
I said I totally agree.
Yeah, there you go. Mike back there said the bald guy.
Good luck.
What about these Raven cheerleaders? Because all this Keenan could
yeah.
talk about when he came back was this sideline fauna. I mean,
Well, it got me thinking about the male cheerleader and the role of the male cheerleader in 2015.
Okay.
do they have male cheerleaders?
That was the one negative, and I was talking about the female cheerleaders in this particular instance that were outstanding. But the male cheerleaders, I think they served a role because there were a lot of flips and a lot of tricks and a lot of stunts and all that stuff.
That's true. You know, the cheerleaders, it's an interesting thing because they don't get paid anything. They show up. They got a lot of work to do, a lot of community service. You got to support that. I feel like, you know, the purse could be opened up a little bit more for these folks, but I'm starting to feel like maybe there's a need for some sort of male Satinettes counterpart here in town.
That's what I think.
For the Bengals.
Sure.
Now, if you guys could help out, we could lead that charge. Maybe we could get Mike Brown to open up to something like this.
You know, they got the growl down there.
Got the growl.
Why not?
You know,
What's the growl?
Maybe a little bit more satin. We could introduce
There's
a
a
little bit
bunch
more
of
satin.
drummers. You never seen
Are those people?
the drum? Yeah,
They're
that's
ridiculous.
That's the growl.
That's just stupid.
I mean,
I'm
wouldn't you
sorry.
rather see Satin maybe holding up a cheerleader, you know, throwing them around flips? And,
Hey, that bingo. That sounds about right there,
Yeah.
too.
I don't want to
Now,
see.
would you have to get paid to do that, or would you do it for free?
You know, to hold up a cheerleader, I think I would do it for free. I might.
That's a lot of.
Hey, I've been trying to hit the gym lately. So you know,
Really?
working
up
with
with our
kettlebells. You know, some of these kettlebells weigh a lot.
You and Diddy been
You and
kettlebelling?
McCoy.
Yeah. So you know, if I can work on my form, we might need some extra hours pre and after the game to work on some of those holds, some forms. But I'd be way into it.
I'd rather see a dozen frisbee dogs.
What about the monkey riding the dog? I always
Those
enjoy
are
that.
fun.
Yeah,
I want the monkey on the tiger, though.
I don't think he would make it to the 50-yard line, just like Mike McCoy.
Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback ever? 400 touchdowns now in his career. Is he the best ever? Better than Unitas? Better than Starr?
Less time than anybody, I believe.
Yeah. Is he the best ever?
Boomer.
He's better than
Boomer, the lefty. Come
How
on.
much of it, I mean, Brady, obviously a great quarterback. I don't want to downplay any of his accomplishments, but how much of that is Belichick? How much of that is some questionable tactics that they may have utilized during his tenure that he doesn't know about?
He's gone through so many different wide receivers in his time, though. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter who's catching these balls. I mean, he even managed to make Ochocinco look good for about 10 minutes.
Well, I feel like their first Super Bowl, he was a game manager. They were a defensive team. They were a run-first team that first Super Bowl. He wasn't Tom Brady, who he is now. That was a totally different team. Now, the last couple, he's been the steward of that ship. I still think Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, and Brady just happens to be, you know, a great quarterback, but not the best of all time. I'm a Montana guy.
You're a
I'm
Montana?
with you on that. I mean, that system, it's set up for him to not fail. He doesn't have to move around much. You know, he can be in any shape he wants to be. It's like he hits everybody. Yeah, it's that system of Belichick. I would have to go with.
Good system, good line, too. Good line. And, you know, Gronkowski can make. He's like the best. People are saying, who would you rather have, Tyler Eifert or Rob Gronkowski?
That's no competition.
Nice, all due respect to Eifert.
Gronkowski can block too. I mean, they're both.
And we saw that Eifert couldn't yesterday on two.
You guys are talking about Belichick, but every time Brady goes down, the Patriots aren't that good.
They went to the playoffs with Matt Castle.
They
won 12 games. They won 11 or 12 games with Matt Castle as a quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Sorry.
Silenced.
Staten, it's good to see you again,
you
man.
Too, you too, guys.
He walks around over the Rhine and quell that rumor about Andy Dalton.
We're killing it. Omnipresent. We got it.
Omnipresent?
We're everywhere.
That's what we're going next.
Everywhere.
Take that.
Oh, my goodness. Popping up behind us at a chroma key.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, she's gone now.
Hold on. We're going to her next.
This is even more frightening.
Yeah.
Tanya O'Rourke is in our newsroom, and she's monitoring the social aspect of the show, which I hope means drinks and lady fingers or something.
Happy hour. Yeah, that works for me.
Tanya, how are you today?
I think it's happy hour in that studio.
Oh,
I guess it's a good thing I'm out here. I don't know. It looks like you guys are having so much fun. How I wish I could have been in there.
Come on in.
McCoy.
Oh, yeah.
How far do you think you could throw a ball, Tanya?
Probably 15 yards. No kidding. I mean, I love throwing football with my kids, but I'm not going to lie. But that was a duck.
It was.
Duck.
Do you throw like a girl?
No, I do not throw like a girl.
Good.
I do not throw like a girl. I throw like a I throw like a girl because I'm a girl, but I don't throw girly.
There's nothing wrong with throwing like a girl. That Monet Davis can throw short throw.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm a girl, so I throw like a girl, but not like girly. I'm tough.
You're not a girly girl.
So you don't throw it like
I have 5 brothers, guys.
Can you throw it better than Griffin Frank, you think?
Yes. I'm positive. I could take a hit better than him, too.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, and that is a classic video. If no one knows what we're talking about, please see my Facebook page from about 2 weeks ago. So you want to know what's going on socially?
Yes, we do.
All right. Okay. Have you seen that Deadspin article, Stephen Smith Sr., what he called Dre Kirkpatrick, Adam Jones, and George Iloka?
No.
Have you seen this thing?
No. Is this today?
Yeah. So I guess they did some lip reading of what he thought of the Bengals secondary. I couldn't figure out one of them, but they figured out pretty quickly what he was saying about our secondary was I don't think I could say even on a web show without losing my job on television what he called them. But I'll just say it was not flattering.
This is after the game.
Well, I don't know. I think it was like on the silence. So they're like reading his lips, like he's talking about each of the players, and he's given his assessment, and it's not flattering.
Can you blame him though? He's 36 years old. If he was 27 going up against Dre Kirkpatrick, he would have gone for 250 yards.
That dude's a beast. That dude's a beast.
It felt like he was going up against the Bengals by himself yesterday, and he probably could have won. He was that close by himself to beating the team.
He did look like he was their entire offense. All I could hope was please let him need to take another IV and come out for a while.
Well, please. The other thing too is the Bengals couldn't tackle in the second half of that game, so that probably helped
that 4th and 5 play.
Kirkpatrick tracked him down and barely got to him. Iloka got taken out by one of his players, and Nelson completely missed him.
I don't understand why he's retiring. He looks like he could play another 3 years easy.
Well, he's got to be tired and hurt. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's
a lot of pounding. But anyway, so he makes some pretty nasty statements about our guys, which some firing back on Twitter right now. At Stephen Crowtown put, classy move by Steve Smith calling the Bengals secondary trash, and other things, by the way, when the rest of his receiving core ate it and they took an L. So, okay, that's cool. Yeah. I can appreciate that.
I would imagine, too, trending a lot of comments on A.J. Green. I would guess, I don't know, but I would think.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we got one from, I love these names, Lazy Boy 88M.
Wow.
I don't know. How was that pass from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green for a touchdown, not a play, top 10 play on SportsCenter last night? A lot of people are going on and on about A.J. Green, how amazing he is, and that play, and you know what I'm talking about. It was like a 30-yard bomb and then a 50-yard run by A.J. Green into the
right after they lost the lead. Yeah, that was an impressive play. I still like Marvin Jones' one-handed catch to set up that last A.J. touchdown a little bit more. That was an impressive catch in a really critical part of the game.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, when I saw that A.J. Green it was a beautiful throw, which was really nice to see, and then that run for touchdown. that was, I mean, I was jumping up and down because I am a homer. I am a total Bengals fan.
That Steve Smith catch on the sideline, though, that was legit.
Oh, the one where he kind of that back shoulder catch?
Yeah, for the first down, that was a legit catch.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting, folks, is that the Bengals are 3-0. And we are so used to haters. You know what I mean? Like, come on. We all think, oh, it's the Bengals. There's like kind of love out there. I mean, there's concern that people are loving the Bengals. I mean, there's concern that they're 3-0. When's the bottom going to fall?
Well, yeah, because that's so Cincinnati, is it not? I mean, this place, this town expects the sky to fall. And when it doesn't, they're pleasantly surprised.
That's that second
class. That's the way this town is.
Yeah, it's that second class mentality.
It is.
Until you actually get that cup, people are always going to feel that way.
Right.
Even after, I'm telling you, if we won the Super Bowl, it'd be like, yeah, but we're going to suck next year because we're at over cap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so there are people like at Purpose on Live said, are Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals legit? I mean, they're talking about that kind of stuff, and a lot of people not real happy about that. Not just that the call was made at the end of the first half, but that the flag was thrown, that was not a catch because of that process. You know, the Tyler Eifert catch.
Yeah.
So we got Fleming Dave called it ridiculous, that catch process, that it wasn't a TD at the end of the first half. A lot of people not real happy about that, even not Bengals fans going, well, come on. Then that was a football move or was it not? I don't know. You know, all that stuff, that kind of gets past my pay grade.
Well, but you know, that's a problem too because we see it in real time and there's so many replays of this stuff. The officials see it only in real time. They don't see the replay until they go underneath the hood and look at the whatever they do in there. I mean, God knows what they do when they go under that hood. There could be all kinds of things.
Some puppet show in there. They're watching a puppet show.
I think sometimes. I think when they're trying to talk about whether it was a catch, whether they made a move, I think they watch the replay in real time.
Yeah.
Because they have to determine that whether he had possession before he went to the ground or not.
They almost need to start looking at catches how that old Supreme Court justice, I don't remember his name at this point, but he said, you know, how do you know what pornography is? Well, you just know by watching it. And they need to do that with the same thing as a catch. Let's just have some common sense with it. It was clearly a catch. Understand the process, understand the interpretation of the rule. But if it looks like a catch, it's probably a catch.
Or do away with replay. Go back to the way it was. Go back to the way it was.
Come on. That's like doing away with dessert. You got dessert, you can't take it away now.
Sure you can. My parents did.
Out there could legitimize what's really happening.
My parents put dessert on the table all the time. They said if I made the wrong move or if I looked the wrong way, the dessert left. It left like 6 nights out of 7.
But you know, like what
you're skinny.
What Keenan said there, that the things like the tuck rule and all these things, you know, or fumble, catch, whatever, Eifert, they got to just, it is what it, you know, you can see what that is. It should just be called. And, you know, Dalton last week, I think the Bengals got extremely lucky with that. They said it was an incomplete pass.
Marvin
that should have been a fumble, you know.
Marvin Lewis wasn't that unhappy with it. He said, you know, he accepted what the rule is, and he's tried to drill into these guys like, unless you hand the ball to the referee, they're not going to call it a catch. So he's trying to drill that into him, and at some point, I guess it'll take hold.
Tanya, it's great having you with us. Thank you for checking in.
Thanks, Tanya.
She's our social media gal.
Thanks, Tanya.
Because she's more social than we are.
Keenan.
Way more social than we are.
We have no social skills.
We have no social skills.
We have a 2-minute drill coming up.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about it, but yeah, we'll end it here with this 2-minute drill. Is basically the Chiefs are in town next week.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs, and they got a big game tonight. Which we think they probably will lose, right?
Oh, I think the Packers are going to smack them upside the head with a skillet.
That gives them a short
Super Bowl III rematch. Does that sound
right?
Yeah, and that gives them a short turnaround. So I don't know. What do you guys expect? I think the Chiefs have the best 2 defensive tackles in the league. Tamba Ali and Justin Houston.
Yeah,
or not tackles. Linebackers. Yeah, linebackers. Right.
Yeah, they've got and they've got a great running back in Jamal Charles. And who's the kid that came back from cancer?
Eric Berry.
Eric Berry. Yeah, and they got Macklin now at receiver. I liked what at the top of the show when we had Rodney Heath. The game plan against the Chiefs is to make them go on 10, 12 play kind of drives and make them make a mistake because they're not an explosive offense in any way, shape, or form. So if you keep trying to get them to 4 and 5 yard gains, they're eventually going to make a mistake, and the Bengals will be able to capitalize on that.
I think that's solid. Absolutely.
I agree with you, but I do think the tackles, offensive tackles, Whitworth and Smith, they'll be challenged this week.
I don't see anybody in the Bengals schedule right now that I look at and say with great definity that's a loss. I don't. I know they've got to go to Arizona.
Right.
I think that's a loss.
Arizona, but I mean, yeah, they'll probably wind up losing that game. But I don't look at it and say, "Holy crow!" There's no way they can beat that team. They could beat Arizona in Arizona. They could.
Yeah.
Will they? Probably not, but they could.
Yep.
They could. Could they beat Seattle? Sure, they could beat Seattle.
Sure.
Can they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh if they've got Roethlisberger? Absolutely.
Do you think the Bengals are the second best team in AFC right now?
Behind the Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got the Bills in that play, and the Bills are coming to town soon.
They're going to
they're going to Buffalo.
They're better than I think they're better than Buffalo. I think they got a better quarterback than Buffalo. I said I would say I can't think of another team that would be in second place at this point in the entire conference in Cincinnati.
Now, surprisingly, the Jets have the second best point differential. I'm sorry, it's actually the Cardinals have the second best point differential. Then it's the Jets. Then it's the Bengals tied with Buffalo.
Wait, so who's number one then if we're number two?
New England.
New England. Yeah.
And where's Denver fall then? Where do you guys see
Denver's not
Denver
that
looks
good.
bad.
Denver's shaking.
Yeah.
They're winning, but they don't.
I've watched 2 of their 3 games, and their offensive
they
line
suck.
is awful.
Yeah.
They've lost too many guys from last year.
I mean,
An
they
offensive
looked better
line
last night, but
offensive line isn't about individual talent. It's about 5 guys coming together, and they have to have a bond. And I don't think they have that bond yet to really, impose their will on opposing defenses.
This is who?
The Denver offensive line.
I don't think this offensive line does either, to be honest with you.
Well, their interior is looking real shaky because that running game, we didn't really get into it this week, but, I mean, Jeremy Hill has all but disappeared.
I think Jeremy Hill's benched.
And
I think
Bernard didn't have a great game either.
No,
but they almost
but they were only giving up an average of 85 yards a game.
yeah, we're talking about a good
and
running game.
which they hit. So
Bernard ranks number 5 in the NFL in rushing yards.
So the big deal here is if you joined us midstream, this show is available 24/7, 365 on WCPO.com. Right. And while you're at it, become an insider. It's money well spent. It's not all that expensive. Secondly, get the app. Put the app on your phone because it's not just this show. It's everything else that's up there at WCPO.com. Get that. And then join us next Tuesday. No, Monday. Are we Monday or Tuesday next week? They play Sunday, right?
Yeah, they play Sunday.
Monday. Okay, we'll be here Monday.
We'll be here
Join us Tuesday, too. You never know. We might
24/7, 365, man.
Yeah.
That's right. But next Monday, 1 o'clock live and only on WCPO.com. The show is The Flying Pigskin. Tell your friends about us. Just don't tell the authorities.